Warning, the podcast you're about to watch contains lots of spoilers, so look away, don't stuff if you don't want things spoiled. Watch the episode, yeah. Hello, and welcome to TVCaptive.com presents the As Seen on TV podcast for Game of Thrones Season 4, Episode 10, season finale, called The Children. This episode, the Wildling army is dispersed. Arya, there's a custody battle over Arya, and people die, which is every episode. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me is Miss Clio with the eyeballs.
Hello!
Where are those eyeballs from?
Original Sin comic book.
Oh. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
The more you know. Oh. So, what'd you think of the season finale? I almost said series finale. No, wrong.
It was pretty good. It was a very good episode.
It was a very good episode. I'm surprised because they usually make the 9th episode, the best episode. Or the one with, the most shocking twists.
I think this 8th episode was the best episode.
Yeah, it was one of the best. This whole season had some really good episodes. What, with Joffrey choking to death, the fight between Oberyn and the Mountain, and then the battle on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And now...
The battle on the wall is great, but that, just like Blackwater Bay, they're not my favorite episodes because they are very centric.
They're like, yeah.
I love them and they're needed, but they're not my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're those, whole episode. It's like, here's where the episode starts. The episode is going to end here as well. There's nothing else in between. It's just all this.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, they are needed, but they are by far not the best episodes. Anyway, let's start off with the wall. Last episode, we leave Jon walking out beyond the wall. And this episode, we pick right up with that.
Yeah.
Walks into the woods, hands up to Mance, basically says, I'm here to discuss terms.
And it's like, he lied to Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, why you lie to Sam?
What, that he was going to kill him?
Yeah.
I know he was lying to Mance. I'm here to discuss terms. No, I'm here to bullshit you until I figure out how I'm going to kill you.
I don't.
Mance, he even calls him out on it. He says, but,
But I don't think he was ever really like, I totally can kill him right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, as he said, he's like, he said, you probably could kill me. He'd probably do it faster than anybody else in this tent can react. They'd all kill you, but you know that. So, and then the thing that very few people saw coming was, hey, guess
Somebody called 1-800-ROHAN.
Somebody called... Is that the joke?
Yeah.
Both of you.
So John made that joke.
Thank you, John.
As they, the horses were, just riding in very distinct formation.
That's a good one.
It was like somebody called 1-800-ROHAN.
Somebody called 1-800-ROHAN. That's...
And honestly, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, is Rohan attacking the wildlings right now?
No. The whole army, thousands of mounted troops, pincer attack upon the woods.
Yeah.
And...
that was pretty brutal.
Hey, guess what? It's Stannis. That's where that's where they were going.
I didn't see that coming.
There were hints, subtle hints throughout the season, but nothing very overt, like, we're going north.
Well, they didn't even say that they were going anywhere. Wasn't the last time we saw them, they were at the Iron Bank of Bravos?
Yeah,
they were just like, we need you to do something. Yeah,
we need, money, we need funding, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And the last thing you see is Davos throwing, what was his name, Salador San, throwing him a big, thing full of gold. Like, hey, you succeeded, and that's really all we saw of them.
Yeah.
So, I guess you were probably expecting them to attack King's Landing again or some crap like that.
Yeah, I guess I never really gave much thought to what Stannis was going to do, because I don't like Stannis. House Baratheon is my favorite house, but I fucking hate Stannis.
So do a lot of people. But now...
Well, the wrong Baratheons died.
Yes, the wrong Baratheons died. But we're stuck with what we're stuck with. So, Mance basically surrenders. But Mance really, like he said in the first place, he wanted to hide behind the wall. He didn't want to fight, or... He knew he was going to get a fight, but he didn't want to.
Yeah.
He's like, I'd rather not. I mean, we just want to pass through your tunnel, and we promise we won't make trouble. Just, we want to hide behind the wall. And that was that.
And, I mean, Mance... understandably was like, oh, we just, want to be south of the wall, we want to be safe, but also, you have unpredictable wildling tribes that will pillage and fuck up towns in the north, and...
Yeah, we're
I like, had this idea when they were discussing stuff, and I was just like, what if they joined the Night's Watch and, like, manned the other abandoned stations?
The other, 16 abandoned castles along the wall?
There's plenty of room.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
But it's maybe a little too late for that.
Maybe. Well, we'll see what happens coming up. I mean, there's now a leaderless army scattered on the other side of the wall. And all who want to cross over. And now Stannis is fortifying Castle Black. So they went from having 80 or 70-something men to a few thousand. Well-armed, well-armored, and mounted.
Yeah, no.
So. Anyway. Oh, and I guess we'll stay in the north while we're here. They bury... they burn their brothers who lost in the battle. And then, in a sweet moment, Jon takes Ygritte north and burns her. Was that a good send-off for her, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah?
See why not.
I mean, and there's really
My question is what did they do with the dead wildlings? Did they burn them with the brothers?
I don't think they burned them with the brothers. I think they burned them separately.
Yeah.
They probably just heaped them all into a pile, lumped them. I combined the words heap and lump, and I said hump. So, it's warm in here. My brain is not firing.
How about my lumps?
Yeah, it's not firing on all cylinders here. So they just lumped them all in a pile and burned them. Moving on. Down to King's Landing.
Ooh.
So, Cersei and Tywin are having a little discussion. I mean, it's the running joke on the internet, Happy Father's Day, but how screwed up was it that they aired this episode on Father's Day? Tywin just had his bubble burst big time.
Yeah.
Kinda. Like, hey, guess what? All those things they're saying about Jaime and I, they're not lies. All my children are his children. Mm-hmm. And that's one epic case of denial right there.
Yeah.
For Tywin. For such a... I mean, you had mentioned pre-show, we discussed this already. Like, he's gotta know. That answers that.
He didn't, or if he did...
He
locked it in the vault.
He locked it in the vault and threw it in the ocean.
Yeah. Threw the vault in the ocean.
It's like, whoa, we're not getting to this stuff. Nope, into the ocean with you.
Yeah. And this is the first time Cersei wins. Cersei wins.
Cersei wins against her father.
Yes, I would.
That's high five
Queen
right
bitch
there.
rules.
Queen bitch rules, yeah. Well, we got some stuff to look forward to next season.
Yeah, but what she wants to do, I don't know if she wants everyone to know about her and Jaime, but it's just don't do that.
Don't admit it to the realm, no, because
don't do it.
That's not technically legal.
Well, I mean,
anymore.
It's not about it being legal. It's about she's then outing her children as not being legitimate.
Right. She can't out them to the realm because then she endangers Tommen's claim to the throne.
Exactly.
The only reason he has a claim is because people think he's, Robert's child. But,
yes.
We know better. So, a lot to look forward to next season, like Marjorie marrying the third potential king of the realm.
Yeah.
Renly down. Joffrey down.
1, 2.
2.
Third time's the charm, right?
And Tom was a nice kid. I don't want him to die, but we've had nice guys die on this show before, so, I mean.
Always.
So that is that. Now we're going to skip back north. We're going in chronological order this time. Ish. Skipping
Your face!
back north. Who was it? What is their name? Bran. Bran.
Bran.
Bran finally reaches his destination. A nice big shiny tree with a cave under it. However, before they can get to the cave... Oh, look, a skeleton army. Well, not army, but a squad of skeletal soldiers decides they're going to break out from under the ice and we're going to eat you.
Can I just say...
Huh.
This turned very D&D very quickly.
Yes, it did. It turned very D&D really
Skeletons,
fast.
magic missile.
Skeletons, magic missile. The magic missile, I guess the child of the forest would count as a fey creature.
She's something.
Or some kind of dryad or something. I don't know. Count as that.
But she's the only one of the children that we saw, right?
There were a couple more hiding and peeking around in the cave, peeking around the roots.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
So, yeah, skeletons come out. Bran gets in Hodor's mind again and just, like, wrecks some skeletons.
Yeah.
And
I was like, no, Hodor!
Like, no, Hodor! No, he's getting bit! And then Bran goes in and it's like, rage mode! And then, as soon as I saw that headless one drawing the dagger, I'm like, oh, great, someone's dead.
No, I mean, I knew when they first started popping out of the ice and grabbed
Jojen.
I was like, nope.
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 No.
And we, like, even, I don't remember if it was said explicitly or hinted at it, but he's prepared to die. We knew it.
Yeah, the three-eyed...
Went on this mission.
Yeah, the three-eyed raven said... Or the guy who is in the roots.
Mm-hmm.
The man who is roots. I don't know.
God, Tree Man.
Tree Man basically said Jojen knew he was going to die coming here, and he came anyway. I didn't think he knew he was going to die by a headless skeleton just going stab, 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 stab. Because really, that skeleton was just laying there going stab, 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 stab.
Yeah.
I'm going to work that into a D&D campaign at one point. Because that was just too epic.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
A room full of decapitated skeletons stabbing at your feet.
Okay.
But yeah, magic missile that, and you know, some kind of where is it? Like protection against evil or a hallowed ground or something. Skeletons.
Yeah, some
death ward or something.
Perimeter magical protection.
Skeletons run in and bones start flying.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. This went very D&D. But what could you what do you think the guy Tree Man's meant by saying, you know, you're not gonna walk again, but you're gonna fly?
He's a warg.
True.
Maybe he'll become a bird. That'd be weird though.
Be weird. Bran turning into a bird.
So when I just thought of this today. But I'm reading a book about yogi philosophy and the spiritual mind, and like Bran is on the path to like enlightenment, but he's still like, I liked my legs. He's like not quite there yet. Can I have them back, please?
That's actually a very good, you know, parallel analogy, something to this whole thing. Yeah, he is kind of on some path to some enlightenment, some form of that, but yeah, he's at still, you know, I liked my legs. You know, not being able to walk sucks.
It blows.
It blows. But there's some interesting things that are going to happen there. Very interesting, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, I figured. John said something, and I don't know if this is you know, spoilerific or whatever, but something about the old man being a god and him becoming one of the god trees, and that Bran is going to replace him. And I just sort of went, I have no idea what you're talking about, but
okay, for the next, okay, I can clarify that he's partially right. The next 60 seconds are going to be heavily spoilerific for the next 2 books. Look away now. I'll wave like a ninny when the spoilers are done if you want to mute this. Anyway, basically, that man is called the Green Seer. He is like a super warg. That tree is a weirwood tree, which are in all of the gods' woods that all, northerners and everything pray to and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And those eyes carved into the tree, he can inhabit them. And he can see through all of those trees everywhere.
All of the gods' trees.
All of the white weirwood trees. He can see through their eyes anywhere, at any time. At any time. This transcends time and space. He could see the past, present, and future through these trees.
So you find this out in the books later?
It explains it like Bran, he's looking through a tree in Winterfell's Godswood, where Ned would sharpen his sword all the time and come to pray and stuff. And he's, all of a sudden it mind fucks you because back in in the first book, it's like describes a scene where Ned's sitting there and hears the tree, the wind whispering to him. And then there's a scene where Theon, years later, is in the Godswood, still screwed up for being Reek, as Reek or whatever, and he hears, swears he hears somebody calling his name. Meanwhile, this is Bran, over the span of 30 seconds, seeing these images and trying to reach out and talk to them. So...
But he can't because he's a tree.
But he can't because, he can't change the past. He can only see it.
Ah.
Waving like a ninny. Okay.
Interesting.
I'm sure I left out some details there, and that was woefully incomplete, but that's the basic gist of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's that. Moving right along. Dany... 2 big things happen to Dany. I mean, she's ruling the city, and a couple of unexpected things pop up. One of the elder slaves wants to be sold back to his master. Guess it makes sense?
Well, it does, because the family with which he lived didn't treat him badly. He taught their children. They liked him, they loved him like he was a dog or something. But yeah, I guess he couldn't adapt. Harder for the older people, the ones who were not who didn't do that kind of hard labor.
Right. But yeah,
he just wants to go back where he was comfy, and he probably actually had a bed and everything.
Yeah, I mean, he's said, I had the respect of the children. I was a teacher, and all this other fun stuff. And I mean, it draws a nice, parallel to abolishing slavery in the U.S. in the 1800s. Not all slaves were mistreated. Yes, quite a lot were, and had some really shitty lives and shitty conditions, but at the same time, there were some who weren't in that situation. They were treated, nicely. As nicely as you can be while still being a slave, I guess. So, yeah, he wasn't, his basically, yes, he's free, that's great, but his life kind of sucks now. Because his purpose is gone. He's living in, a homeless shelter, basically. Mm-hmm. And he has to fight younger, more able-bodied people for food. So,
yeah.
Do you think... I mean, Dany allows him, says you could sign a contract with him that lasts no longer than a year, blah, blah, blah. How do you think that's going to work out for her?
It might. With him, because his family treated him well.
Mm-hmm.
It might not work for others who go back to lesser, moral people.
Lesser masters or whatever.
Lesser masters.
But as Barristan says, the masters are going to take advantage of this. They'll be slaves in every way except name.
Yeah.
So, that. And the second bit that came to her is a guy brings the charred bones of his dead child, saying the black one killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Killed her. So,
apparently she didn't notice that her child had been missing for 3 days.
Well, she kind of lets them roam because,
You think she'd go see them.
True. But it's, I think to her, where she found the knowledge out that dragons kind of need, like, open air and, freedom and stuff like that. So she lets him do it. Now, no sight of Drogon. He flew over, they said they saw him flying over the cliffs. And no word since. And she lured the other two down into the catacombs and chained them in the dark. And that was heartbreaking, too, because they're, like, screaming after her, like, ah, mommy, mommy, mommy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not their fault. They're the betas. They didn't do
anything, right.
It's Drogon's fault.
Mm-hmm. You ruined it for your brothers. See what you did there?
Exactly. But we're not even sure if they would ever have gotten to a point where they would recklessly do stuff like that.
I know they're portraying Drogon as he's portrayed in the book. He's vicious, he snaps at her, he's minimally controllable, if at all. But they're portraying the other two much more docile than they actually are. They're just like him. He's just bigger.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she captures them, loses a couple Unsullied in the process, chaining them. But when she goes to do it to Drogon, he caught on and he's like, "Ah, bitch, I'm out of here." And he flies off. So...
Yeah, they didn't lose anybody trapping these two.
No, she just lured them down and gently, they were eating, and she's just like, oh, do-do-do-do, clink, do-do-do-do, clink, and then left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's like, does she have to chain them up in the dark? Does it have to be... I don't know. I think this was the most extreme.
That is kind of the most extreme. Yeah, they're chained up in the dark, underground, in a sealed catacomb.
Yeah. They closed the door on them.
I feel bad. I mean, what do you think's coming from that?
Nothing good.
Yeah, nothing good. Oh.
We may get the mentality of abused animals with these two.
They were, yeah, I mean...
Especially if it's for prolonged periods of time that they're locked up, they may not treat Dany the same.
Very true.
Her again.
They were very docile, and they were imprinted on her, basically. They still saw her as Mama.
Mm-hmm.
And Mama locked us in the dock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be happy next time she goes down there. Fortunately, she's immune to fire. Otherwise, that could end badly. That's something they don't play up as much as they should. They did in the first season because, obviously. But they haven't really touched on that at all. She is literally immune to fire.
Mm-hmm.
She cannot be burned. It's impossible. So, I mean, that's kind of why it's safe for her to be in such close proximity to the dragons. Yes, they could still bite her head off and stuff like that, but... Moving on. Nothing good will come of that.
No, probably not. And Drogon's still free and out there.
He's still free and out there, and easily twice the size of the other two.
Yeah. And I was thinking of this today, too. I feel like Dany's losing sight of what she wanted to do to begin with.
Right.
That she's captured these cities, and she's done this good deed of freeing the slaves, but she's now stuck to rule because she has to keep control. She
was a freight train. She built up...
she was just gonna barrel right over...
Things were pretty crappy for her, because, she got sold into marriage. She made the best out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband dies. Her unborn child dies. Her, people abandon her, leaving behind, the old, the frail, and the sickly with her. And that's it. She's stuck there with a husband in a vegetative state and nothing else. And the witch they kill. And then all of a sudden, that's when, she starts building up steam. She burns a bunch of things and winds up with 3 dragons. The only 3 living dragons. Then she moves on and, makes her way out of Karth with a bit of money, if anything. Then she sacks a city. Then she sacks another city. Gains an army in the process of doing this. And now she sacks a 3rd city, and now the steam boiler just busts a leak and her freight train has stopped. Kinda.
Yeah.
To go with the train analogy. Dom's gonna love it.
Choo choo. That's for you, Dom.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but I mean that's. I think it's gonna be good because dragons are meant to conquer.
They're meant to conquer, and
That's how Aegon got the Seven Kingdoms.
Yes, but Aegon's...
And she's taking all of this time to chain them up and treat them like animals. They're not going to want to help her.
The difference is Aegon's black dragon, Balerion, was big enough to swallow a mammoth in one gulp.
Yeah.
So, that's a fucking enormous dragon, if you think about it. The logistics of swallowing a mammoth whole.
Yeah.
So, he kind of had that going for him. Well, Dany's still got some, young, not even, like, children, maybe adolescents stuff.
The dragon?
Yeah.
The three of them?
She needs a little bit more time before those dragons are full-fledged weapons of war. But.
Yeah, but also with this complete stop, that's going to also stop the... Or lessen the chance of having these dragons be capable of helping her.
True. So, onward. Oh, yeah, I glossed over the fact that Jaime and Cersei got it on again on a table in the Kingsguard's sacred chambers.
Is it sacred?
I don't know if it's sacred. I mean, they take an oath to have no women.
That's right, because they're not supposed to...
They're not supposed to, no.
Yeah.
Yep. So he kind of violated his vows on their goddamn table. With the book, right there. Like, everything that's sacred about your vow is double gone.
He wanted some stuff to add to his, his paragraphs. His sister fucker. Right on the bottom.
So, yeah, that'll be a great, Sir Jaime Lannister, squired for Barris and Selmy, blah, 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 took his vows this date, took the life of his king he was sworn to protect, sister fucker.
Perfect way to just...
End the book, fucked his sister on this very table. Close the book. That's it, done, walk out.
Yep.
But I was going to get to probably the most epic scene, or, series of scenes of this whole episode. Brienne and Pod. Pod lost the horses. Podrick.
I just love that beginning, because Brienne, it's nothing but the cliffs, and you see Brienne come up like, Podrick, where are the horses? And he pops up, he's like, well, they were here.
I tied them like you told me to, and now they're not.
Carrying the saddlebags.
And they wind up running into Arya and the Hounds. Mostly Arya practicing her swordplay on a rock. And they have a lovely conversation. Then the Hound comes out, and she's looking at him, and then looks at Arya and is like, I'm looking for you. Like, you're Arya Stark. That's the whole reason I'm here.
Half the reason. I was just yelling at her the whole time to tell her that Sansa's in the Eyrie. Just say those words.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. But good old Sandor Clegane fucked that up. Well, he did have a good point. Where's safe for her? Her father's dead. Her mother's dead. Her brother's dead. Winterfell's a pile of rubble. So anywhere that's really safe for Arya is no longer so. So really, what would be the best bet for Arya at this point?
Braavos.
Yes, that is what we know has happened. Anyway, probably one.
No, I was saying that before she went to Braavos. I'm like, go to Braavos.
Yeah. You got that coin, go to Braavos. He told you, give it to any man of Braavos. Anyway, one of the more epic fight scenes in one-on-one combat.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the more epic ones we've had were Ned versus Jaime, which could have been better than it was.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ned versus Jaime isn't that Good, because Jamie cheats.
Well, technically Jamie cheats, yeah.
Jamie cheats.
It was a nice bit of swordplay.
Yeah.
You know, Oberon versus the Mountain 2 episodes ago. That was a pretty epic duel. And now these two. This was just straight on. And it wasn't a Bronn versus that Eerie Knight who got, for Tyrion in season 1. This was just pure straight up, no rules, no, honor, no nothing. This was just, you both want to kill each other. Well, he wants to kill you. You don't want to fight him, but you're going to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Fucking battle royale between those two. And
it wasn't just that they were so evenly matched. They were the same size. They looked like they were swinging with the same force. They had similar swords and armor. It's like, whoa.
They were both using long swords. They were both in mixed. Well, Brienne was in a nice shiny suit of plate, and Hound was in plate, but it was mixed plate, and I believe that vest he wears is studded leather or banded leather or something like that.
Yeah.
But he's got a mix of everything, chain plate leather. So they're both pretty. Yeah, no helmets either.
No.
And those two went at it. He lost his sword, and then grabbed hers. Both Omi and I watching that while he's squeezing the sword, we were just like, because the blood's squirting out everywhere. Yeah. I don't want to imagine punching somebody with those kinds of wounds in the palms of my hand.
Oh yeah, I know.
Especially.
Yeah, they just started both of them were disarmed. They start beating the shit out of each other.
Beating the crap. She goes down, uppercuts him to the junk, and then he returns with a cunt punt, and then
cunt punt. Was it. That's exactly what that was.
It is exactly what that was. And then, she bites his ear off. That was it. And I just go, wow, it is not his week for people with teeth.
Yeah, pulled a Mike Tyson.
Totally pulled a... That's why that picture was so good. Oh my god. You just completely... Because there's a picture of a premiere...
she's punching Mike Tyson.
Her with Mike Tyson, and she's like, punching him in the face. She pulled a Mike Tyson. Oh my god. That's deep. That picture is so deep now. Wow.
There are levels to it.
There are layers to that picture now. Thank you. Yeah, and then she just starts wailing on his face, like punch. One punch with a gauntlet is painful enough. But 7, 8, 9 in a row like that, with a screaming ball of rage behind them.
Yeah, oh man.
I was just like,
She punched him right off that cliff.
Yeah, she punched him right off a fucking cliff. And down he goes. And then we get the most lovely scene of bone protruding from leg. And now... Okay. Arya hides from her. She walks off into the distance screaming for Arya, trying to find her. Mm-hmm. Arya goes down to her traveling companion, who basically admits, it's like, unless there's a maester hiding behind those rocks, I'm dead. Mm-hmm. There's not, they basically ask her, I showed you where, the heart is, stab me in it. Mm-hmm. And... Sorry. What do you think?
I think... Because he's like, come on, I'm on your list, this is what you want. But she just wanted revenge for all of the terrible things he's done, but specifically for the butcher's boy.
And then...
Greg, the Hound didn't show that kid any mercy, and Arya didn't show the Hound any mercy.
Very true. Yeah, the Hound showed no mercy his whole life, so Arya's probably saw that as a fitting end. Yeah. I'm going to take your sack of money and leave you here to bleed to death.
Yep.
That is a horrible, horrible fate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
That's a slow death.
That is a slow, agonizing death, assuming he bleeds to death.
Yeah.
Because likely, if he doesn't succumb to his wounds, he's going to die of thirst in 2 days. 3 days.
He's going to bleed to death.
He's going to bleed to death before
He had enough wounds to bleed to death, but it would take half an hour.
Probably longer, depending on... So he's going to die a slow, agonizing death. And Arya...
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, in the middle of nowhere. And Arya is off sailing away. The look on that guy, she's like, oh wait, I got another coin. And they're like, no, silver, no more silver is going to make a difference. He's like, it's iron. Just his face when he saw that, like, where the fuck did you get this? Like, and it's like, you'll have a cabin on the boat. Like, you get the royal goddamn treatment. You are like...
status right there.
Yeah, VIP, instant VIP status. You can have my bed. You can have my cabin. I will stay out of your way.
Are we gonna see? And I always say his name wrong. Jaqen H'ghar. Are we gonna see him when she goes to Bravos?
Another 30-second moment of spoilers from the book. I'll wave like an innie when it's done. No.
Damn it.
Sorry. You do hear of Jaqen H'ghar once more. It's in the prologue.
Right. We had this conversation already. We were talking about Syria.
It is in the prologue to A Feast of Crows, the 4th book. He assassinates somebody. And that's the last you really hear of him. So, waving like an innie. Anyway, yeah, she's off on a trip. Gonna be treated like royalty on a boat.
Yeah.
Sailing across the narrow sea. Fun things await in Bravos for Arya. Trust me on that one.
Imagine.
Oh yeah. Let your imagination run wild.
We're gonna see more of Bravos, which is exciting because we got 2 seconds of it, and all we got was a fucking bank.
Yeah, you know, the free cities are pretty well fleshed out. I mean, and they're each... You got Bravos, which is known for the bank, and, you know, the Titan that stands over the harbor and stuff like that. You have Pentos, which you saw barely any of. That's where Dany was when she was sold to Khal Drogo. Yeah. You got Lys, which is known for... I forget what. You got Tyrosh, you got Mir, and there's 7 of them. I can't remember all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all really well fleshed out and, you know, be pretty awesome to see. Hopefully we see more. I know we're going to see Volantis coming up. That's where Robb Stark's wifey was from, and other notable characters who escaped me.
Who are probably all dead because they went to Westeros and that was their first mistake.
That was their first mistake. Oh, also, Arya's going to Bravos where Syrio Forel is from. He was the first sword of the Sea Lord of Bravos. Sea Lord of Bravos is like the king of Bravos, basically, I think.
Yeah.
Or he's like one of the higher-ups. So she's going to where the guy who trained her how to fight with a sword, and where her favorite faceless assassin is from.
Maybe more sword training?
Maybe more fun stuff. Anyway, for the final bit, what everybody was wondering about after Episode 8, Tyrion's fate. Laying there in the middle of the dark cell, door opens, just get on with it, you son of a whore. And then the epic line from Jaime, is that any way to talk about our mother? Really? Jaime sets him free.
Mm-hmm.
Tells him, Varys is waiting at the top of the stairs. Knock 2 times, wait, knock 2 more times, he'll open the door for you. This is farewell. I love you. Goodbye. And that was that.
They had the bro hug. I was like, yes, bro hug.
They had a bro hug. And then Tyrion takes a detour. Goes into his father's chamber. I didn't know what he was going to do. I don't know what his intention was initially going in there. Like, probably just he wanted an answer. Like, why? You know I'm innocent. But when he gets to his father's bed, who's laying there naked? Traitorous witch that she is.
Calling Tywin her lion.
Calling Tywin her lion and laying naked in the bed of a man who despises whores and everything associated with them. And then she pulls a knife on him. Like, the cheese knife. It grabs a cheese knife? I don't know, it was a bread knife or a cheese knife. It was on a plate of food. She grabs a damn cheese knife and goes to stab him with it. Mm-hmm. And then winds up getting strangled for her efforts. But, well, Tyrion, yeah, you kind of got your vengeance for that. Whether he intended it or not. He even said I was sorry. He was sorry at the end of that.
Yeah.
And then grabs a crossbow, finds Tywin on the shitter. So what'd you think about
really gonna shoot your father on the privy.
Yeah, what'd you think of that whole conversation there? The whole,
I knew Tywin was gone. Tywin was just dead. There's no way he was walking away from that.
You like the way he very calmly tried to bullshit his way out of that, too.
It's like
you wanted me dead from the moment I was born. Yes, I did. But you refused to die. Like, I respect that. Admire it, even. Like, I'm just like, wow. You are saying this calmly and straight-faced, but the bullshit is just flowing off your tongue right now.
Oh, yeah.
And
Tyrion would, too.
Mm-hmm. I loved her. Who? Shay. And it's like, oh, who? A whore? Call her a whore again.
I dare you. Oh, say what one more goddamn time.
Yeah. Say what one more goddamn time.
Say what, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time.
And the conversation continues. And he's like, don't, be a fool over some whore. Ching! You shot me.
I was super shocked. I think Tyrion was a little shocked for a second. He did it. So.
He said it. He did it.
But if there's anything that Tywin taught his children, it's don't make threats you can't back up.
Very true. That is one major lesson right there. So Tywin is now dead.
Dead. On the toilet.
On the toilet. And there's a little poignant, like that chapter ends with, the rumor, like, I forget the exact quote, but it's like, Tyrion had always heard the rumors that Tywin Lannister shit gold, but in the end, he actually didn't. Or something along those lines. Like, no, like, Tywin Lannister really did not shit gold.
That's funny.
Yeah. So. And then Varys just loads him on the boat and gets out of there, and as soon as he hears the bells, he stops.
He's like, oh.
He just turns around like, shh.
No. He's like, I'm not going to explain anything to anybody.
And this picture's... Yeah, this picture's, roaming around the internet like, guess what you're an accessory to?
But that means that Arya might meet Tyrion.
Oh, Tyrion's going to Pentos.
Oh, I thought they said Bravos.
Did they say Bravos? You know what? No, it didn't. I don't know where he's going first. I don't know where he's going.
For some reason, I thought that Varys is from Bravos. Right?
No, Varys is from Lys.
Oh, never mind then.
He's from one of the three cities, not Bravos, though.
Oh, okay. My bad.
But
never mind.
See, I'm shooting ahead here. I know at one point Tyrion winds up in Pentos, but maybe he goes to Bravos. I'm not sure how that works. But at this point, because Jaime says there's a boat in the harbor waiting to take you to wherever. But yeah, at that point, Varys is just like, sits there. He's kind of looking depressed, like, damn it. Like, damn it.
He decides to help Tyrion and loses absolutely everything.
Yes. And I'm just... Before I close this out, I'm just going to address the major shitstorm that book fans are having on the internet. I think the episode was very well done. It worked. Okay? Then that's my preface to it. The shitstorm people are, raising here is that the final conversation between Jaime and Tyrion involved, if you remember back in season 1, Tyrion tells the story of Tysha, a woman that Jaime saved from bandits running out of the woods, and Tyrion helped, console and everything like that. He wound up getting drunk and marrying her, was married to her for 2 weeks before Tywin found out, and revealed that Jaime set the whole thing up. She was a whore, and then he made him watch as his whole barracks full of men, fucked her brains out. And he paid her a silver apiece, which I don't know why that was a detail mentioned, but so it was supposed to be Jaime admitting that Tysha really was just a scared girl. He didn't arrange the whole thing, everything was as it seemed. Tywin forced Jaime to lie to him to try to teach him some kind of stupid lesson about family pride and everything. And that Tysha really did love Tyrion. And at that point, there wasn't supposed to be a nice parting between Jaime and Tyrion. Tyrion was supposed to walk away after saying, yeah, I actually did kill Joffrey, by the way. Little shit deserved it. And then storms off. And that was supposed to be the conversation between Tywin and Tyrion about Tysha. What happened to her? And same discussion, Tywin kept calling her a whore. And same reason. Just different whore they talked about.
Yeah, exactly. And the important thing in the show is Shae.
Yes, she's the...
We don't remember Tysha's name if they ever said it at all. It's an important thing to Tyrion's backstory, and we know it. It was told to us. We don't need to hear it again.
Right, saying that's the difference.
The thing that's going to haunt him is not the thing about the girl all those years ago. It's Shae.
Right. He really... They mention it in Season 1, and that's all you ever hear about it. But the thing is, in the book, it is brought up a few times in between when it's mentioned and now. So, Tyrion has never let go of the fact that, he did truly love her. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it made sense the way they did it in the show. I'm okay with it. I mean, they've altered a few things, like, Jaime wasn't supposed to get back to King's Landing until after Joffrey was dead. Well, guess what? He's there at the wedding anyway while he watches his son choke to death. They've made a lot of alterations. I mean, it's an adaptation. It's based on the book. It's not the book word for word. So, yeah. I'm curious where they're going to go from this because it's supposed to set up for a major thing on Tyrion's mind for a long time now, but I'm curious how they're going to do that. Mm-hmm. But other than that, that is... If you look anywhere on the internet, that will be the biggest thing, the biggest gripe you see about the episode, I believe. Why wasn't she mentioned? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
Because no one fucking knows her name. That's why.
You gotta realize the show is dealing to an audience who likely has not read the damn book. That is probably...
even in that story he tells about her, when he marries her and everything, I don't remember them ever saying a name.
He did. He said once, her name was Tysha or something like that. But that's that. I mean, anything else you want to say about the season finale other than it was actually really pretty awesome?
It was pretty awesome. Yeah. Everybody's still screwed.
Yeah, everybody's still screwed. Nobody's safe.
I can't wait for the next wedding.
I can't wait for the next wedding either. Actually, now that this season is over, there's one thing they left out that I'm questioning. And it's just a minor detail. Possible spoiler alert, if you're interested, I'll wave like a ninny, but it's really not that big of a deal. If you remember, Stannis did that ceremony early on with the blood of the leeches, or that was the end of last season, actually, I'm sorry. He said, the usurper, Joffrey Baratheon, threw the leech in the fire, the usurper, Robb Stark, the usurper, Balon Greyjoy. Well, the Red Wedding happened, Robb Stark dies. 2 weeks later, timeline, in the span of 2 weeks, Robb Stark dies, Joffrey dies, Balon Greyjoy dies. But they did not even mention that this season.
Didn't mention that.
They didn't even mention Balon Greyjoy's name. Yeah. So, I'm curious what they're doing there. I mean, there's a major plot that's supposed to happen with the Iron Islanders and the Greyjoys and stuff coming up that, Balon Greyjoy dying was the catalyst for, but, I mean, it's not supposed to happen yet, blah, blah, blah. Anyway.
We haven't seen the Iron Islands since Theon left.
Right, exactly.
So, it is possible that he is dead, and we just don't know because we haven't been there.
Very true. But that's my only that's the only thing I'm questioning why they left out. Because it's not like... it's not major. I can understand why it was left out. It is a minor tidbit, but it kind of fits in with the Red Wedding and the Royal Wedding. It wasn't a wedding.
Happen next season, right before whatever shit goes down. So.
Very true. Exactly. But we'll see.
Yep.
Like I said, my only real gripe. There's probably more, but I can't think of them. They're all minor. I loved it. I thought the season was great.
Mm-hmm.
So season as a whole, good?
Yep.
Yep.
Very.
Very.
Sad. This is like... I've had to go into every episode with, like, steel box around my heart. Like, who are you gonna kill now?
You gotta be... Yeah, I have to,
Is there going to be more rape?
I have to quote an article on crack.com that I read today, just as we end. Yeah. There's 4 behind-the-scenes problems that may kill Game of Thrones, the show. Oh. I'm just going to read the problems and, not really talk too much about them, deciding this webpage decides to scroll for me. Okay, number 4, they're running out of books.
We've gone through that already.
We have gone through that. Season 3 and 4 were split up 3rd book. They said that Season 5 is going to be the 4th and 5th book because the 4th and 5th book happen parallel to each other. Just one is Westeros, and the other is everywhere that's not Westeros.
Well, So I feel like they're gonna do this like they did Two Towers, where Two Towers is 2 separate stories. The book is they separate things that happen at the same time.
Yeah,
the movie they stick them together and do them linearly. I think that's what they're gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That. So they can't. They're gonna have to cut away and break. They can't, do it like the books do. Like, okay, and here's the whole story, and they would lose a lot of people. Here's the whole story in Westeros, and then next season, here's the whole story everywhere else. So we're going back in time and starting again.
Yeah, it would be fucked if they did that.
It would confuse people.
There's no way to do it.
The other thing is, it takes him between 4 and 6 years to write one of these damn books in the first place.
Yeah.
So, curious how that's gonna work. Anyway. Number 3 is it's in danger of collapsing under its own production costs.
What was number 2?
No, it's number 4. Now it's number 3.
Oh, we're going back. Sorry,
counting down.
My bad.
They quote that the first season had a $60 million price tag. That increased by 15% for the second season. The Battle of the Blackwater, the whole episode cost $8 million to make. So, it's going to be going more and more into the realm of fantasy as it goes along. You already saw it got D&D, Children of the Forest. It's only going to get more and more CGI required as it goes along. So, Number 2, the child actors are growing up too fast. Like, Bran is 7 years old in the novels. And you also got to realize that the novels take place over the course of about a year.
But for the show, they changed it.
Yes, they...
Bran is 10. Bran was 10, and now he's...
Right, all the star characters were bumped up a few years, but still, it doesn't, chronologically, right, this storyline's supposed to be taking place over the course of a year or so, and, that 10-year-old is now getting older and older, so and then they quote, the character of Arya Stark is a 14-year-old girl being played by a 17-year-old actress. And,
yeah, but Arya the actress looks younger than she is. She does not look 17.
Right. And then the fans and actors might start dictating the plot, which I didn't read this one, but... Oh, okay. Like, they're afraid, because, it says, while Martin can kill Tyrion Lannister at any time he wants to in the books, HBO would be very, very reluctant to suddenly have to continue with the show without Peter Dinklage, who is kind of like everybody's favorite. So, this is a long rant. But those, I can understand the production costs and they're running out of books things as being a worry. Curious how they're gonna work that out. But that's that. Good season?
Yeah, good season.
Yeah. Slightly off topic.
Kill my buzz with that, though.
What?
Kill my buzz with that, though.
I'm sorry I killed your buzz with that. Maybe we can edit out the last 5 minutes and take out my buzzkill. But
from my brain.
Just erase it from your brain. Claw it out with something. Anyway, that's that. Clio, where can you be found?
I can be found at Cliomoto on,
places.
Twitter and Tumblr and Pinterest and Instagram. And you can find me on Twitch at the Cliomoto. I am actually streaming this week, Wednesday and Saturday. It's happening. I want to play Always Sometimes Monsters. I want to play Magicite, and I want to play what was the other thing I want to play? I don't know. Someone else. So things are actually going to get played.
Speaking of streaming stuff, we should really get... we've been talking about doing Monster Hunter for a while, all of us playing online. One of us should stream that shit.
Yeah.
That'll be epic. Got it all set up. The Wii U LAN I got the wired adapter for the Wii U. It came today.
Let's can do that. Cool.
And you need that. You can put the 3DS version and the Wii U version online together. You just need the wired adapter because the wireless can't handle it. Mm-hmm. So you can tether a 3DS game to the Wii U game, and both players can go online with it. So that's awesome. We'll do that. You can find me there at Diligent on Twitter. You can find all of us on Twitter, Facebook, Gmail, Google+, and YouTube. It's all the same thing, ASOTV Podcast. You can find us on tvcaptive.com. We do a whole bunch of podcasts for quite a few popular TV shows. Some not so popular. We do a lot. There's a lot of shows out there.
What's the not so popular?
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, some of our shows are more popular than others.
That's true. That's true.
But
we'll be doing Guardians of the Galaxy more than likely.
Yes, we do movies. We've done The Hobbit. We've done what? Oh yeah, we've done Thor,
all the Marvel
Avengers.
Stuff.
We've done a lot. We do a lot of the Marvel stuff. We're gonna do more of it. So Guardians of the Galaxy is a definite, and the third Hobbit's a definite. So yeah, you can find all that stuff there. Subscribe, follow, watch some videos. I'm sure we do a TV show you like to watch. I'm Mike. That's Clio and her eyeballs. Have a lovely whatever time of day. Those eyeballs are creepy. That's all I get is
Yup.
Yup.
Brienne of Tarth ain't nothing to fuck with.
No, Brienne of Tarth ain't nothing to fuck with indeed.